Jack Avery, who rose to fame in the boy band Why Don't We, was targeted in a plot to take his life by his ex-girlfriend, her father, and her ex-boyfriend. And now all three of those defendants have been given more time before they have to enter a plea. On July 23, 2026, Gabriela Gonzalez, the ex of Jack Avery, her father, Francisco Gonzalez, and her other ex-boyfriend, Kai Cowdery, appeared in a Los Angeles court. Their attorneys asked for a postponement of the arraignment until September of this year, arguing that they only received this case about 6 weeks ago and they need more time to go over what has been described as a massive amount of evidence turned over by prosecutors. Their attorneys also said that they want to preserve the right to challenge whether California is the proper place for this case to be prosecuted. Francisco allegedly participated from Florida, while other parts of the alleged plot occurred in Hawaii. But prosecutors responded that multiple acts connected to the alleged conspiracy occurred in Los Angeles, and that the family court case that they say was used against Jack was also based in Los Angeles. Prosecutors objected to the delay in this arraignment. They told the judge that this was already an old case and asked the court not to make it even older through unnecessary delays. The judge still granted the request and moved the arraignment to September 14th, but she also agreed that there would be no further continuances of that arraignment. Gabriela and her father will remain out of custody on the same $2 million bonds that they previously posted, and Cowdery will remain free on a $100,000 bond. Now for the backstory for those of you who don't know. Jack and Gabriela share a 7-year-old daughter, and prosecutors say that this alleged plot to take Jack's life grew out of a long and contentious custody battle. According to court documents, the plan allegedly began all the way back in 2020, after repeated attempts to portray Jack as an unfit or dangerous father were unsuccessful. Investigators say Gabriela's father had also hired a private investigator to follow Jack in Hawaii and look for anything that could potentially be used against him in the custody dispute, including whether he was drinking, smoking, alone, or otherwise behaving in a way that the family could report. Court documents also allege that Gabriela and Cowdery tried to recruit a former professional fighter, Dustin Barca, and they allegedly tried to recruit him to threaten Jack or pressure him into leaving Hawaii. Now, Barca has not been accused of participating in the alleged murder-for-hire plot, which is good for him. Since Barca did not want to participate, prosecutors say that Gabriela started discussing with her father Francisco and her then-boyfriend Kai Cowdery how someone could be hired to take Jack's life while making it appear accidental. By April 2021, Cowdery allegedly sent a message referring to a bounty of more than $15,000. The following month, Cowdery allegedly created a dark web profile called Lizard King 69 while attempting to locate someone who was willing to carry out the plan and take Jack Avery's life. Investigators say that Francisco sent Cowdery $10,000 in April 2021, and about 2 months later, he sent him $4,000 more. They say the payments were disguised as money for web development work, although investigators say no such work was ever performed. The FBI had already become involved by this point, and in September 2021, Cowdery allegedly communicated with an undercover law enforcement officer who was posing as a contracted killer, and thank God it was an undercover officer and not an actual hitman. During those conversations, Cowdery allegedly identified Jack as the target and discussed payment and wanted proof that Jack was dead. In a later conversation, he allegedly said that Gabriela wanted it done and that Francisco could cover the cost for her. Federal agents also reviewed a recorded call involving Francisco and the undercover officer, during which Francisco allegedly tried to use coded language while discussing the target, verification, and payment after the job was completed. The alleged plan was never carried out, thank God, but the investigation continued for about 5 years. It started with the FBI, and it was eventually turned over to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office, which filed charges in May 2026. I will never understand, until, of course, we hear things come out in the trial or court documents, how did it take so long when written communications and phone conversations were going on and money was being sent to people? How did it take that long? Jack has stated that the FBI first warned him about the danger he may be in about 5 years ago. He described becoming so afraid that he stayed inside his home for about a month and looked through his windows every night. After the arrest in May 2026, Jack requested sole custody of their daughter and a restraining order to protect both of them. All three defendants could be facing 25 years to life for the charges against them, and those charges are solicitation of murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and attempted murder for hire. We should find out on September 14th what their pleas will be. I am just some stranger on the internet, and I cannot believe that these arrests took so long with the evidence that has been described: bank records, family messages, private investigator activity, financial payments, and recorded undercover communications. So I can only imagine how Jack feels. The fear that he felt approximately 5 years ago when the FBI told him, hey, you may be in danger, someone's trying to get your life ended. And then the confusion that he felt, having to wait until May 2026 for these people to be arrested. I hope that he has some sort of peace now, but of course, all three defendants are out on bond, so how can we really know if he does feel peace, if he does feel safe? I hope that this case gets underway soon, and if these defendants plead not guilty, I hope that the trial is scheduled swiftly, but of course fairly. Let me know your thoughts on this case and the timeline and the evidence, and I'll continue to keep you posted.